Today in the big studio, folks, I've got a real treat for you, Mr. Mike Newell. You guys don't know who that dude is. You're not going to find him on social media at this moment in time because you're almost like a mystery. But this dude, net worth of over $70 million, CEO of Standard Land Development and MJ Newell Homes. You don't look very old. How old are you?
31.
31 years old, already worth more than 70 mil. How much is that liquid?
Not much. It's all in real estate.
That's smart. What are you worried about, the big real estate crash if it happens?
No.
Why not?
I'm in at a pretty low loan to value. I mean, most of the stuff I have is cash, and they're cash flowing. They're rentals.
Oh, you rent them all out?
Everything. Yeah.
So you go in and build the homes.
Correct.
And what's crazy, folks, for you guys, for the listeners, he said he's made enough money for himself that he's now trying to think about how to give back.
Yeah.
And you want to show flippers how to just slide into new construction.
I don't know, maybe not limit it to flippers, right? Like people that want to get into new construction in general. I think that there's plenty of margin to be made still. I mean, as this episode,
well, who wouldn't want to get into it?
I mean, I don't know.
Like if you said, Brad, you want to be a developer, I'd say, hell yeah.
Yeah, you want to make 30-40% ROI? I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, and like a buddy of mine's, Grant Cardone, I'm sure you've heard of him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I always ask him, why don't you just build the damn things instead of buying them? His answer was, because I want it to cash flow from day one. What's the length of time before build and getting paid?
Today, it's worse than it was in 2019. Supply chain issues and things of that nature, but it's not as bad as you think, right? You start off. Let's just take a single family home. One single family home. The land's already been developed. In most of the spots that I'm building, I'm doing like scattered lot production. Where the lots have been developed since 1980 and they just haven't been constructed on. There's a lot of that in Florida. So we pick up the lot. The infrastructure's there. The power's there. All we've got to do is build the land up a little bit and go vertical. That typically takes about 7 to 9 months. We were doing it 67 days. Our best time was building a house, single family house, 67 days. 2018, 2019, we could achieve that.
That's quick.
Yeah. Those days are not today.
So are you just signing a piece of paper, or is someone paying for all those supplies and laborers?
Run that by me. What do you mean?
Like in my mind, I'm just walking through here's what's crazy, dude. Anyone can do anything they want. Most people are limited. They don't believe so. So I think, well, of course I could be a developer. I could go develop sky rises. But, the question is, do you know how? Of course I can do it. The question is, do you know how? Well, no, I don't know how. So all we can do is make assumptions or find someone that's doing it and emulate what they're doing. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I got a little money here. I'm going to go build a house on an empty lot. I got to buy the lot. Now I got to freaking know the general contractors or whoever's going to build the house, because you ain't out there with a hammer, are you?
No, not anymore. I was.
Right. I mean, you didn't start building the damn house.
I'll run you through the beginning, right?
You're only 31, bro.
31. 2009, I was I was in college, Palm Beach State College, yeah. And that wasn't for me, so I got through maybe 1 or 2 semesters and I was out of there. And my neighbor told me to get my real estate license, so I went and got that. Started selling houses for people.
Where was this? What
this
state?
is in Florida.
Florida.
This is Lake Worth, Florida. And I hated that, man. I hated selling houses for people. Walk into the house and here's the kitchen, obvious statements and things of that nature. I couldn't do it. But I did it until I got enough cash to start taking advantage of all the short sales that were in the marketplace. Because this is 2010, 11, 12, tons of short sales. Everybody was flipping short sales. So I was buying them from the bank once I got up enough capital.
How much capital was enough?
It took me $150,000 to do my first ones in Loxahatchee, Florida. I bought it for $140,000. I put $25,000 into it, and I sold that thing for $285,000. So that was my aha moment, right?
And you had to do it with cash.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you get like a loan and leverage someone else?
I didn't really have contacts like that. I was a real estate agent.
But is it possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what I'm thinking is, you waited until you had $150,000, If you'd have known me, you could have said, hey, Brad,
Yep.
give me 150 grand. I'm going to go build this house, sell it for 280, and I'll give you X amount of the profit. And I would have said, bink, and you wouldn't have had to wait that long. Because there's people out here right now going, dude, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait for the money if you know someone with some.
Absolutely.
So what's the budget I'm looking for?
There's a number of ways you can do it. I mean, you could do it with cash or you can do it with leverage.
No, I know, but I mean, like, what? At some point, you're gonna
You can build.
whether you can borrow it or it's yours. Who cares? You're gonna need a couple $100 grand.
Brad, you can go to Florida today. You can buy a single family lot in Lehigh Acres, Port Charlotte, Northport. You can buy it for 15 grand, 20 grand max. A good lot, great area, great street, nice homes on that street. You can build that single family home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 2,100 total square feet, right around $85 a square foot, all in.
That's it.
Yeah, you're gonna be into
With
this
the
house.
supply chain issues.
Yes. I was doing it.
Is that a cheapie or is that a nice house?
No. This is a nice house. This is a 9'4" ceilings. This is LVP flooring, granite countertops, soft close cabinetry, tile in the showers. Like this is
85 a square.
Yeah, this is not a DR Horton special.
What are they selling? 400 a square?
No.
What are they selling?
We sell that house right at 285, which is about $135, $140 a square foot.
So you're making a good little chunk.
Yeah.
And it takes you 2 months.
You'll realize net profit off a single family home that you build down in South Florida. You'll realize around 45, 50 grand.
Well, you keep saying South Florida. Is that
That's
the best place to do it, or the only
where I
place
do
you've
it.
done it?
That's where I do it.
But I mean, can you do it anywhere?
You could do it. You could do it in parts of Georgia. You could do it in parts of South Carolina. I think you could probably do it here in Vegas. I see a lot of land opportunities here.
You want to try it out here?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about trying.
Because I got a little dough, but I ain't got a lot of time.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But I'd like, if you know what you're doing, go build a house real quick.
Yeah, no, my team and I have done over 1,900 single family homes since 2017. So we've done it a few times.
But when I'm talking to you earlier, dude, you had a little passion into helping other people do it.
If I had a roadmap when I first started this thing, man, I could have cut out so much time and I could have scaled so much faster. And I've got some really good contacts. One of my lenders, DLP, they're out of St. Augustine, Florida. They helped me scale fast, and they gave me the credit I needed, and they were instrumental in my growth over the past 2 years. So, I mean, just those little things, like the right connections and the software we use and the type of scheduling, what to look for when you're hiring your superintendents and your finance girls and your what to deal with on material and supply chain side, how much leverage you can lock into for your cost basis over X number of months. I mean, all these little things is what makes that margin at the end, and I've learned them all the hard way. So I could give somebody the roadmap to this and say, hey, look, we've got an issue in America. We have a lack of affordable housing. We according to Harvard, I think it's 3.8 million. In 2021, we did 1.1 single family new starts, and we did 470,000 multifamily new starts. And a lot of those are still in construction because they started, let's say, third quarter, fourth quarter 2021. They're still in construction today, so they're not even available to the marketplace yet. So, as we go down this road of new starts, the supply side is only getting worse. I mean, more people are needing housing, and how are we going to provide it to them? How are we going to give it to them? And I think that if we had more builders, I think that would solve a lot of the problem. And I think it would bring prices down inevitably because we're going to fix that supply side.
And you can build a house in 2 months?
Not anymore. No, I can build it in 7 to 9 months now. Supply chain, that changed a lot of things. We can still do it, under a year. But
so let's say I come up with 150 grand like you did. I'm out. Am I out 150 grand for 7 to 9 months while that thing's getting built?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
And then once the house is built, let's pretend I got it immediately rented. How much a month am I going to be getting for that puppy?
For that house, it would get $2,200 a month. You're into it for $185. You're $2,200 a month on the rental side. There's another way to do it too. I mean, you're not
just. That's like
just
1% a month.
Yeah, it's a little
I don't know
over.
what the math is,
It's
but
a little over. It's a little better.
and it would take you a long ass time to get your money back.
Right. Now, if you leverage too, like I do, I leverage a lot. I
What's
have,
that mean?
so you take 50 grand, you buy the lot, you pre-order a few of your materials, windows, trusses, and block, and you have the remainder for the down payment that your lender is going to require. So you take 50 grand, you borrow the other $130 from a group like DLP Capital, you construct the house with their money, they give it to you on a draw schedule, and you're only out 50 grand for X number of months. Build, sell. First person that gets their return is the construction lender. Second person is the initial $50,000 capital, and then you got gravy afterwards.
How'd you discover this?
So I was doing everything with cash, and then I started to.
And you got the cash by selling houses.
Right, I got the cash by selling houses. I started to discover leverage after I built about 60 homes, and then I started running numbers and saw it was a lot easier. You could do a lot more, and that's what gave me that scalability. I was able to hire a lot more people and put a lot more homes in the ground. I was able to leverage all of my volume with a lot of my material suppliers, and I was able to bring costs down. So yeah, it changes when you leverage. It changes the lay of land.
Now, if you taught someone else to do it, but let's say they lived in Michigan, they may not be able to use the same sources you have. What if their costs in Michigan are much higher?
I think across the country, Brad, you should be able to build. You should be able to build at a 50 to 60% loan to value, or a 50-60% cost to value. Meaning,
as I'm looking at houses, dude, houses right now are going for like 300, 400 a square foot.
Here in Vegas?
Everywhere I look, Nashville, Vegas, like, how are you getting them down to $135?
Yeah, $135 on the sales side, and we're selling. That's what we're selling at. You look at what we're doing. I mean, we're selling them at $135. This is not something I'm saying.
A square foot?
Yes.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, 2,100 square foot house, $285,000.
I must be just looking at fancy ass houses.
You're looking at fancy stuff. I mean, these are not bad houses. Don't get me wrong. I'm not down.
But if I go to Zillow, dude, let's say a house is 9,000 square feet and it's 4.9 million.
That's a totally different animal, Brad.
So you're buying like a home on a nice little neighborhood where it's just, nice home, nice new home.
Yep.
Nothing fancy.
Concrete
you don't
block.
have stacked stone, pools, shit like that.
No, very simple. Very simple.
What if someone said, I want a pool?
They can go hire a pool contractor and they can do that themselves. I'm not dealing with that.
So do you build homes for people that want one, or do you build them and then rent them out?
We build them all on spec. We build them on spec, and we sell 90% of what we build. We keep the other 10% and lease it out.
Smart.
It's important. It's important not only for cash flow reasons, but it's important for our country to have home ownership. I mean, that's the bedrock of our community is a 30-year mortgage.
You seem very political.
Not political. I
Who'd
think.
you vote for?
Who do you think?
Well, I would hope Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Everyone watching would want to kill me for saying that, but I don't think the Democrats are following me much anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they would be either.
This isn't a political show, folks, as you know, but what kind of an idiot, dude, would vote for Biden? Nah, actually, let's just not even get in that conversation. But I'm glad you voted for Trump. That means you're a capitalist.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, what got you that way, though? Before you were a realtor, you didn't make any money, right?
Yeah.
You're not from a rich family or nothing?
No, very, very humble means. I lost my father at a young age. My mother did a wonderful job raising me.
In Florida?
In Florida. I was homeschooled. My whole life. I didn't go to a regular school. My exposure to
you
school
think that's
was
affected you in any way?
not really. I don't think I'm very socially awkward. I think that I made friends in my neighborhood, and I was able to play on the hockey team. I love hockey. I played on a lot of different hockey teams, so I had exposure to other other kids, other friends. So I don't think it negatively impacted me. I think I missed out on a lot of things, but I don't think anything negative.
could have just went to school to get the girls and hang out with people,
Yeah,
but not
yeah, I definitely
actual
missed out on
study
the
there.
girls. Yeah, I got a beautiful wife and 2 kids now, though, so I'm making up for it.
Well, dude, it's hard not to with 70 million.
Yeah, yeah. No, we live comfortably.
All right, so you're not rich. You said, "Let's screw it. Let me sell some homes." Then you're like, "This is bullshit. I don't like this stuff. So let me just build a home." What made you transfer like that?
So I'll walk you back through. So I got my short sale flip, my first one done. I made some good money on it. I was hooked. Right. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I'm not going back to selling. So I found some Brad Lees, right? Some guys that had some cash, and I said, hey, this is what I did. This is a proven concept. Come walk through this house that I just renovated and look at how much I sold it for. Let's do a couple more of these. And, that just spiraled into something great. I did quite a few of those. That dried up, right? Right
Wow.
around 2014, 15, like the short sale market kind of dried up. All the short sales kind of got worked out. So I got a good investor base behind me, a lot of guys that got faith in me, and I lost the margin, right? Like I don't have any more deals, but I've got the capital with no more deals. So then I started trying to figure out how could I get that margin back. And a friend of mine introduced me to purchasing distressed mortgages, which was really interesting. So we bought a bunch of distressed mortgages from a third-party seller, a bank, and we worked them out. We foreclosed on some people. Unfortunately, we refinanced some people. The ones that we foreclosed on, we took the asset back, the house, renovated it, sold it, and we were able to make that margin back again that we were making on the short sales. We were making that 40% margin. We were able to achieve that again with the distressed mortgages.
How long a time?
That didn't last very long. That lasted until mid 2016.
How long did it take you to make the 30%?
It was pretty quick. I mean, when we would in non-judicial states, we were able to foreclose quickly. So once we got the asset back, maybe at 30 to 45 days after taking possession of the note, we would renovate it. Maybe another 60 days, and then put it on the market, and it would sell quick. I mean, everything in 2016, 17 was selling pretty fast, and then that went away. So again, I'm in the position again where I got great investor base. I got people that got a lot of faith in me. I just don't have the product anymore. I don't know what to, how to make that margin back. So I started looking at rentals, Section 8 rentals specifically, because I had a few of those left over from my short sale days, and they were just cash flowing all the way through. And I really liked how every month I had, mailbox money, right? So I started looking at building new construction all over Southeast, Southwest Florida and turning it into Section 8 rentals. So I started off, I built a few, and before I had them leased out to Section 8, voucher recipients, people wanted to buy them. And I realized that, what I built it for versus what I could sell it for, my margin was back. So I decided that, this was a scalable model. And that was right at the beginning of 2017. And from there is where I am today. It's just been, building. That's how I was able to find that margin again.
So somebody out there listening says, man, I want to do this. What would be step one?
Step one would be figure out where you're going to do it. I mean,
how do you do that though?
I would say go to South Florida or Texas, Austin specifically.
What are you looking for?
You're looking for availability of land, which is not something easy to find at the moment.
In certain places.
You can find them, South Florida, you can still go to Lehigh Acres. I'll use it as an example. You could go to Lehigh Acres today and you could buy 100 lots at 20 grand a piece. They're there. You can find them. Port Charlotte, Northport, parts of Texas. I've been looking at parts of Texas. A lot of people are going to Texas. Those two states are just, hotbeds for this. And that's where I would start. I would say, go to one of those two states, figure out where you're going to build, make sure there's land availability. You don't want to get into 3 or 4 construction projects, build a subcontractor base, build a supplier base, get a great lender that that believes in you and you have success with, and then run out of land. Right? You don't want to do that. So make sure that you've got a runway for the next 3 or 4 years where you can get in and you continue this process for a meaningful amount of time.
So the name Standard Land Development, did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Because I know a guy that owns this thing called Champion Homes.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that you get to name the home. They had the such and such model and the such and such model.
We got that too.
Yeah, so I mean, like this guy, I'm like, he made a ton of money, and I'm like, dude, I don't understand why people are flipping when they can just build. Is flipping quicker?
It's quicker, but is it really quicker, right? Like how long do you take to find that deal, right? Like if you took into account the time that you started looking for the deal, from the time that you found the deal, closed on it, renovated it, sold it, is that really a 90-day window? Or is that a 7 to 8 month window? Because if it's 7 to 8 months, if you're truly evaluating the time the way you should, new construction is the same thing, and it's more of a guarantee. And I say that because if you find a pocket where you've got land availability, you can just replicate that 100 times over.
Next
whereas
to each other,
relatively close to each other.
like you wouldn't build a community.
You could. It takes a little while to develop land. What I'm saying, the fast solution is go to the stuff that's already developed. Go to the infill lots, is what I call them. Stuff that already has roads, it already has power, it already has underground.
Yeah, so like you're driving down the road and you see a lot right in the middle of a bunch of houses. That's what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. But in Southwest Florida, it's more like a bunch of lots and a couple of houses, right?
Yeah.
There's tons of land. So if you really dig your fingers into Southwest Florida to say, I know I keep pitching it, but that's where I'm at. You've got.
Well, quit telling everybody.
Yeah, you've got deal.
Tell them to go find their own fishing hole.
Bring it all. Let's go. I mean, the more the merrier. But you've got that deal flow, time after time after time after time. All you got to do is outlay the cash for 100 lots, and you've got 100 flips for the next 3 years. You don't have to go out there and search for that next deal.
So you want a bunch of listeners to invest with you?
I don't know that I need more investors, but I think that I could probably show people how to do this.
But if they want to invest, what if they don't want to do it? They just want to invest with you, can they?
I haven't really. I have people that invest with me now. Friends that have been with me for a long time. I've been really thinking about opening a fund and possibly putting in for equity, and then taking that equity, purchasing land and using the remainder for down payments, and then borrowing from a senior lender for the construction debt. So I've been contemplating that. I guess if I get an overwhelming response, I'll probably move in that direction.
Response from who?
I don't know. I haven't really started doing this. This is my first.
You seem a little unsure of that.
Yeah.
Why are you so unsure of that? You got the balls to just start building houses, but you're scared of opening an investment fund to generate more money to do more of it?
I'm not sure I want to be a fund manager.
Well, you hire fund managers, bro. You ain't one.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's my face on that thing, and I want to make sure everything.
Dude, that's the operations. Like, do you think they're going to make money?
100%.
Then the fund is just a favor to your buddies and friends and people that accidentally figured out who you are and got in.
Yeah.
Like Cardone does with Cardone Capital, dude. Like, I had to give Grant a little bit of money just to keep him from blowing up my phone every day. I'm like, here, I'll go in, and he sends me a check every month, albeit a small check. And I'm thinking to myself, I can make more than that doing 100 things. Like, but he doesn't bother me anymore about it.
That's a benefit.
Yes, there's a benefit. But like, if I said, man, I got a couple 100,000 or a couple million, I like this dude's model, but I don't want to do it. I got shit I'm doing. Why wouldn't you just let me give you the $2 million and cut me in for a piece? That's a fund, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Honestly, Brad, I'm not sure. I'm easing into this, right? It's my first exposure to the public side, if you will. Kind of. I don't even have social media.
Yeah, but how are you going to train somebody how to do it? You're sure you want to do that?
I think I am. Yeah, I think I am.
You're not quite certain.
So I did it once. A friend of mine put a social media post out on Instagram, and I had this crazy response. We had 40 people in my conference room wanting to do this. Most of them, 80% of them were, flippers from the area, and they're like, yeah, we want to make the transition from flipping into new construction. And I'm hand-holding them all the way through. But I had 40 of them in my conference room, and I showed them. I'm like, these are the tools we use. These are the suppliers we use. This is the budget that we use. This is what you need to be paying for stuff in order to make your margin. Like, I laid it out for them. And
Where's that at? Where's that stuff at?
it's all in my office.
I'd call that curriculum.
Curriculum.
Wouldn't you call it?
Yeah, I think so.
Like if someone said, hey, I like this, dude, I want to take that course. Like you sound like you're describing a course.
Yeah. Well, could it turn into a course? I mean, you tell me. I don't know.
You'd have to.
Right.
How are you going to train thousands of people?
A curriculum and a course.
It would have to be.
Yeah.
So you're just thinking about that, though. You haven't fully decided.
Right. I did it, right? 40 people were in my conference room and learned, and not everybody executed.
Well, dude, that happens.
Yeah.
The question is the plan solid, and if somebody's willing to do the work, does it work?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, dude, you're right. You got an obligation.
6 of those guys have my cell phone number. I talk to them once a week. I give them, they give me updates on their stuff. I walk them through, certain challenges they're having. And, they're executing. They're doing it now.
It's like
they're
a
building.
coaching, mentoring
Yeah,
program.
they're doing it. They're
Did
building.
you charge them for it?
No.
You just did it?
I'm helping them, yeah. And
Well,
they're doing good.
that's not what you want to do for the whole world. Do it for free, right?
I don't think I would do it for free, but I wouldn't charge too much. I mean, if we could put 300 people in a room and
Why in a room? Why not online? Why not with a password? Why not on demand? To where like someone wants to go fast, they can go fast. Someone wants to go slow, they can go slow. But if I need to be in a room, you're going to get far less people potentially. Why? Because people want right now on demand.
I see.
Like let's say I get off work at 11 o'clock p.m. Oh, let me go see what Mike's doing. Boom. Oh, there's no call right now. I got to wait until Wednesday at 2. And then Wednesday at 2, you're talking about a bunch of stuff on the call, and I'm taking notes, but I'm like, I want to ask questions. Well, there's 300 other people that want to ask a question. How do I know I'm going to get my question answered? There's nothing to the whole live. But if I logged into a system, a virtual training system like the one we do upstairs, and you pop up, how you doing? My name's Mike Newell. Do you want to do this? It's interactive, and it's on demand. You literally could advertise it, sell thousands of them, and get more people hitting the road faster. Then you upgrade to a live coaching environment, such as a Zoom or
Bringing
quarterly
people into a
update
room.
or meetups, and then you upgrade personal coaching out of that audience to where, let's say, for example, 5Gs, and you'll look at their deals and coach them through their builds, like for the first 2 builds, and then people are like, they'll upgrade to that, and then next thing you know, you have 50,000 people in your network. You can't do it, with putting 300 people in a room. It'd take you forever. Remember what you said, if you had a map now, you'd save millions?
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm like that with training. So whenever you're ready, dude, I will help you with that because I believe the same thing you do. I started 3 companies recently, Real Financial, Real Solar, and Real Merchant Services. And the reason why is because those are all recurring models. They're not bullshit. Like you can literally go make $300,000 to $500,000 a year in each one of them easily with recurring revenue attached. And if you're any good, right? Well, I can make people good. So it's like, why are you doing it? Same reason you're doing it. Because, dude, I've made a lot. I want to show other people how to get out of the rat race. That's the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, and it works. It's real. Proven concept
As long
over
as it
1,900
works.
times. Yeah.
As long as it works, bro. So if I took your class and I didn't work, then it wouldn't
If
work.
you took my class or a class that I, gave curriculum for, and it didn't work, it's because you didn't execute.
Period.
Period.
And that means your program works. And if it works, dude, you're obligated to get it out to the world, in my opinion.
Well, that's why we're here, right? Talking these things out.
Well, are we? Am I your counselor?
Yeah, it sounds that way.
It sounds like you're unsure of whether or not you really want to do it.
I would do it. I would do it. I would take that step and I would do it.
I think being able to build the home, and obviously there's stuff we haven't even talked about, but to build the home puts you in a better position of control. No. But if there were a flipper on the stage right now, what would he be arguing?
Probably time. But I mean, look, if you really evaluate the time, like I said before, if you evaluate the time from when you start looking from the deal, from the to the time you close that deal with the end user, what is that timeline really? I mean, it might take you 90 days in construction, but what was that time before?
What if it takes you like way longer because you got a bunch of dickheads that don't want to show up for work?
That all comes down to execution. I mean, if you've got the right superintendents and you're hiring the right people.
When lumber skyrocketed a while back, did that affect the build?
100%. It went up 300%, and we were affected to the tune of about $9,000 a house. So we went from 45 grand to 34 grand.
It's adjusted.
And unfortunately, right now, we're getting higher appraisals, so the end user is the one that's getting shafted here. They're the one that's absorbing that cost. We should be able to sell houses, the same house that we're selling today for $285. We should be able to sell that house for $265. And with interest rates going up the way they are, we're going to need to make that adjustment. I got 2 people in my office. Their sole purpose is to beat up material suppliers. That's all they do all day long. We go out of state, we go out of country, we go everywhere we can, and we just find materials.
Their job is to grind.
Yes. Yep.
How do you pay them?
We have incentive base. So they get a salary, but everything they save, they also get a percentage of. So they're highly incentivized to really, take the bat to people. And they do.
Do you have a big team?
Not big. We've got 52 employees today.
Why 52?
That's what it takes to do about 400 homes every year.
So, is that your goal?
Yeah, this year our goal this year, close 2022 is 440 single family units. That's our goal.
You don't like multifamily?
I have a multifamily community that we just platted and we're moving into now, but I prefer single family. I think there's a lot more exit with that. You could sell to an end user, you could sell to an investor, you could keep it and lease it out yourself. You could keep it and lease it and let's say you got 10 of them in a row, you could sell 5 of them down the road, keep the other 5. There's more options with a single family, individual plats.
I wish I was a real estate guy that would know the difference, because if I had an expert on stage for multifamily, what would he or she argue?
They would probably suggest that it's much easier if you have a 100+ unit multifamily complex, that you have an on-site manager taking care of everything all in one spot. And I can't argue that. That's they're 100% accurate.
As opposed to like a property manager?
As opposed to 100 scattered single family homes all in a let's say a 6 or 7 mile radius. I mean, you can still have a property manager though, right? You can still have a property manager, but he's running all over the place, right? Like instead of being in a golf cart, he's in a F-150. I mean, yeah, it costs a little bit more. I think that would be one argument. I think maybe appreciation is a little different. But as far as tax incentives go, and ability to maneuver, like sell, lease, or keep whatever you decide to do, I think single family, you just got more options.
How many houses you got still? You said you sell 90%, you keep 10%. How many have you accumulated?
I've got just over 200 single family homes.
And that's not very long ago that you started.
Right.
What'd you say, 17?
Yeah, 2017.
So it's only been 5 years?
Yep.
You're collecting them left and right.
Yeah. Well, the scalability is only really happened 2019. 2020, we had, the whole, whatever you want to call it, that screwed everything up. I think if we didn't have our 2020 hiccup, I think I'd be a lot further along right now. 2020 was not a great year. I mean, everything slowed down, supply chain just grinding halt.
So when you started, did you just start like calling contractors and figuring it out?
So my first houses, I learned how to build on YouTube. Yeah, I was watching. I was so green, Brad, when I started building houses. I didn't know that there was 3 phases of plumbing.
What are they?
Underground, phase 2, which is the interior walls, rough plumbing, and then final trim, which is, everything that you see when you walk into a house, the faucets, the valves on the toilets and that kind of stuff, the actual toilet itself. I didn't know. Like, I had no idea. And I learned all these things the hard way. And these are all things that I could, enlighten people to.
How long would it take you to enlighten somebody?
I think a solid week of just straight, teaching, if I laid it out in such a way, I think I could get somebody, enough runway to build a single family house on their own.
So if somebody is serious about this, because again, I mean, like if I didn't have so many companies already, that's something I would be interested in, becoming a developer. But I see big. Everything I see is big. I want to develop skyscrapers.
Yeah.
I want to be able to develop, shopping malls, because it's all the same to me. Like you say, you're building a home. Okay, good. Why not build a town? Why not build a community? Well, I'm sure it's just money difference. Same effort, right?
More employees.
Yeah, but still, same program. You're just
High-
doing
higher-
more
higher
of them.
quality subs. Yeah, there's a distinct difference. But to your point, yeah, more money, bigger projects.
But don't
more
you
yield.
want to do that eventually? Because like you go into some of these communities around here, like it's a planned community. One company built that.
I'm doing one at the moment. It's
And
called.
I don't know how they get all the money to build all those roads and all those freaking power lines.
Well,
and
I can
houses
tell you.
and-
I can tell you. So we have 110 acres that we are developing right now. It's called Windermere. It's in Lehigh Acres. It's 280 single-family home sites. We put the money up for the land, and we borrowed from our senior lender, which is DLP, the people I was talking about before. They lent us the money for the acquisition and development, so a portion of the land they financed, and all the development they financed. Now, as soon as I get the roads in, which should be right around first quarter of next year, I'm going to start going vertical. And they're going to, as long as I bring my 10% to the table, they're going to finance the vertical side as well. So there's funds out there, a lot of them at the moment, that will fund acquisition and development of land and vertical construction. I mean, everything that I've been talking about up to this point is the easy road, right? Go to something that's already developed. Go to infill lots. Pick up something that's already been developed. It's already got underground. It's already got electric. Pick up that postage stamp lot, stick a house on it, and sell it. Like, that's the easy road. The hard road is a raw piece of dirt, taking it through entitlements, taking it through all of your horizontal development, and then building houses on it. I mean, that's a longer road. I mean, it's taken me a year to get from the time we purchased the dirt to the time we have roads in it. And then I've got another 2 years to build out 280 single-family homes. It's a 3-year project. Real close to a $100 million project. It was a $96 million project. All funded by DLP Capital.
So you go into where basically everything's there. You're just looking for a little lot.
Yep.
Like if a house burnt down in the middle of a house, group of houses, or sometimes I'm driving through a neighborhood and I see like just a lot. I always think like, hey, there's a lot up by me right now. So it's like, hey, there's a lot. So you're just supposed to buy the lot, slap up a house, and you're a developer.
Pretty much. But again, don't go into a neighborhood that only has 2 lots, because you're going to get good at building those 2 houses, and then what are you going to do?
We'll go find another neighborhood.
I mean, why don't you go to a neighborhood that has a ton of land inventory?
Why does it all have to be in the same neighborhood?
It doesn't have to be, but
Well,
you want to be in the same geographic location, more or less. Your subcontractor base, your material base.
So all that matters.
Yeah, you gotta keep that pretty consistent.
See, this is why it's good if you started a course, because again, a lot of people, they don't know these things. They're pretty bright. They can figure stuff out. Like right now, I could go build a house. I start by calling my freaking father-in-law, who's a engineer, And hey, who do you know? And then he knows people like contractors that build houses, and I can go get a house built, but it wouldn't be me doing it. It'd be me orchestrating it, paying for it, you know what I mean, and arranging it.
Yep.
But the actual workers are the ones building the house.
Correct. You're not actually swinging a hammer.
Yeah, so that's why I don't ever do it. It's because number one, I don't know all of them, and number two, a lot of them are, let's call it unethical, or lazy, or unreliable. Don't you ever get whacked by an unreliable contractor?
Always. It's part of the game. But there's ways to mitigate that. It's simple ways too. You go to the neighborhood, where they're building a tract community, and you find that sub that's putting in the ACs. That's your guy, right? He's doing 200 of them down the street. He's got the manpower. He's got the material availability. He's probably got the capital.
He's also probably got jobs to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, see if he has the capacity. If he doesn't, on to the next.
That's a good idea. You just drive to a new development, and how do you know who's putting in the things? You just pop out and ask.
Walk in the house and start talking to people.
See, I like that. You just make things sound easy, even though they're not necessarily that easy. They are that easy.
They are.
Why don't people just get her done?
Yep.
So, if you could tell the bomb squad anything, what would it be? Like, how can they help you right now?
I think I kind of want to just take the temperature of everyone out there and see, is this something that people want to do? They want to learn how to build houses. If not, do they just want to invest in a fund? Like, what would you prefer to do? Just want to kind of feel out the waters and see if this is even something. I mean, I got this idea just by, talking to my friends. He put out the post. All of a sudden, 40 people show up in my office. I mean, like, yeah, people want to do this.
Okay, so you want to make an announcement to the bomb squad and see what they respond like?
Sure.
Well, what is it?
Send my assistant an email specifying whether or not you'd be interested in building houses. What is that email?
What if she gets like,
what if she gets 2,000 emails? Oh my God.
Then you're going to move forward and
We're going to do it, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, we should talk offline because, like, I got to get your freaking confidence up in that regard. Like, dude, you shouldn't even be, who cares who chimes in from the bomb squad? I guarantee you, dude, people will want to do that. The question is can you do it? Can you teach them? And does it work? Because if those two are there, and I'm sure they are if you've already done that many, if those two are there, dude, there's kids that aren't even 18 yet that are going to want to end up being developers. I believe there's fewer tradesmen in the world than there should be. Like back in the day, dude, there was a lot more tradespeople. They're becoming less and less.
That's a fact, Brad.
That might be why the housing shortage. Truck drivers too. Like, all of these essential positions in life, mainly building homes. People are like, dude, I can post something on social media and make just as much money as flipping a house. So why would I have to go through all that pain and agony? Yeah. Dude, to get rich is number one. Number two, though, is because, again, you keep saying, where are we going to put them? Who's we? America?
America. The country.
Our
country.
But that means you're a patriot.
Oh, yeah.
Why so?
I love this country, man. I came from, very, very humble means, and I've got everything I want. I've got my own airplane. I got a beautiful wife, 2 kids.
When you say
3
airplane,
houses.
A jet or an airplane?
A Citation. Yeah, I've got a jet.
Is it a jet?
Yeah.
How you like
a
it?
Bravo. I love it.
How many does it seat?
7, comfortably.
What's it cost to fly an hour?
It varies around $1,200, more or less.
That ain't bad.
No, it's on engine programs too, so I got to pay into the engine program crap.
What's that?
So once I time out, they put new engines on it as long as I pay into the program.
Oh, right on. So do you only fly in that?
No, I actually flew here on commercial flight.
Yeah, is it just a little puddle jumper?
It's not a puddle jumper. I could have gotten here, but it would have taken me an extra hour and 45 minutes.
Why?
I got to stop. I got to stop and get fuel in Texas.
Oh yeah, from Florida.
Yeah.
Why don't you get the big boy?
I don't know. I don't feel like spending that kind of money right now.
Why?
I don't have that kind of money.
You do.
A new Gulfstream is what, $75 million?
Do you have any shortage of capital?
At the moment, no.
Do you have any shortage of properties?
Yes.
So
We need to buy more land. Yeah.
Yeah, so you need more land and more opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So what if the bomb squad knows about land or wants to sell you land? Can they call you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, because I'm assuming you don't have any money problems. If all your money, technically liquid money, is in these homes, dude, you could leverage the debt and go build another $70 million worth of homes. That's what's beautiful about real estate.
Yeah.
If I own $70 million worth of properties and I don't owe a dime on any of them, I could liquidate homes, assets like that fairly quickly. People will be like, well, what do you mean? You have to wait and sell them and people have to show them. No, you don't. You walk into a bank and say, give me 40% of the house's value, please.
Yep.
As a loan, no taxes. And now all of a sudden, you got $28 million sitting in your pocket. Okay, so $28 million, you walk over here now and you go, boom, down payment, build 70 more homes that are worth, or $70 million worth of homes.
Yeah.
$28 million down. The homes are now built. Guess what? You basically just doubled your inventory
Absolutely.
off the existing inventory.
Right. And they appraised for more than what you built them for, so you could literally take
By
it
then,
and do it
yeah.
again. Right.
And not only that, time went by, and so now these, I mean, dude, it's just like everyone should be doing this.
Yeah, I agree. If everyone was doing it, we wouldn't have a housing shortage.
Well, folks, now you know why I said you got a real treat. You got Mike Newell here. I can't believe you don't have a social media.
Yeah.
What's your assistant's email if someone wants to email her?
A. Wilson at standardlanddevelopment.com. All spelled out nice and long and confusing. A. Wilson at standardlanddevelopment.com.
So just shoot you an email, anything in the header, so you can tell it if
Just
it's coming.
just put Bradley.
No, put
Podcast.
Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad. There you go. Put Bomb
Put
Squad.
Bomb Squad, folks.
Yeah.
Bomb Squad. And that's if you just want them to email you and tell you if they might be interested.
Yeah. What do you guys want? You want to learn how to build homes, or would you rather invest money into a fund that builds homes?
And do me a favor, folks, just to show them that we got a little power over here at the Bomb Squad. We got a little influence. Do me a favor. Just stop what you're doing. Open up an email and flood his assistant's inbox. I think it'll be hilarious, even if you're not interested. That way, he's got 90,000 emails to go through to find the 3,000 that were interested. Of course, there could be 90,000 people that are interested, bro. Right now is the perfect timing. You know, the way things are, I highly advise people start figuring out what else you're going to do. Working for someone else isn't going to be the answer. Trust me. You know, what happens when they go out of business? What happens when they start getting strapped? You know, start laying people off.
Yeah.
That shit happens, bro. People need to have a backup plan. And if people are thinking, man, you're out of touch, Brad. It's not easy doing all this. It is easy doing all this. It is easy. Just like getting abs is easy. Do you think getting abs is easy?
If you take the steps to do it and you do it every day.
Dude,
Yeah.
when I say easy, in other words, you know exactly how to do it.
Yep.
Not doing it is easy. Getting abs is easy because there's a million people on YouTube right now that'll show you exactly how to get abs. Oh, you mean it includes work? Well, yes, it includes work. You thought it didn't? So, like, apply that to life. And it's like, dude, becoming a developer is easy. Especially when you got one that'll show you what to do. Becoming a restaurant franchise magnate is easy because there's restaurant franchise magnates that have done it. So if someone can do it, well, then you can do it. Would you agree with that?
100%. Absolutely.
So it takes a guy like you to roll in here and say, look, what I did, you're only 31. That's pretty impressive. 31, dude, I was just starting Lightspeed upstairs. That office
Impressive operation, by the way.
Thank you.
Very nice.
This is my training center, but sometimes when my main studio is being used, I'm like, well, let's come down to the big stage. So that's why we're down here. But I'm glad you came in, dude. Maybe we talk offline and figure out maybe we'll get you a fund started at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you're you're interested, or you just want to blow up his inbox, A. Wilson at standardlanddevelopment.com. And until next time, as always, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.